Why is your manifestation stuck? And how do you unstick it today? Talking about manifestation. Why is your manifestation stuck? And how do you unstick it today? Maybe you've been feeling like, what you want isn't coming. The energies, things aren't moving. You feel stuck. So let's find out. Why is your manifestation stuck? And how do you unstick it today? Why is your manifestation stuck? And how do you unstick it today? Usually it's we get our own way. Let's see if the cards reflect that. Why is your manifestation stuck? And how do you unstick it today? Okay, one more shuffle, then I'm going to cut. And then we're going to see what the cards tell us. Why is your manifestation stuck? And how do you unstick it today? Let's see. Okay, remember I do not read these upside down. Not this deck. Ooh. Okay. See if we need another one or not. Interesting. Okay. So, the first thing we have is the Eight of Pentacles. I'm going to hold that card up so you can see it. So we have some barriers and obstacles in our way. There's something that you need to overcome, even though if you look at this card, it could be that because of if I just look at the imagery of the card, you could just have a lot of things going on at once. Here she is creating this beautiful work of art, with the stars sparkling and the sunflowers. So it's not all bad. It just could be that you're juggling 15 balls in the air, right? And so you're not focused on one thing. That could be your obstacle. This is not necessarily a negative card, but it is telling me that there are some barriers here. Are you making progress, or you're feeling stuck? Because that's what the question is. You're feeling stuck right now, and the barriers are, you may have too many balls in the air, literally. Trying to juggle family, work, life, friends, everything, bills, career, children, husbands, wives, lovers, all of it. And, where she really wants to be is painting, in her art, in her creativity. And Pentacles is about, our bodies. Maybe you're overextending yourself. It could be money. Money could be an issue here. You could have money scattered everywhere, and that is limiting you in your manifestation, having to cover all these expenses. There's 8 here. Got a lot of expenses maybe, Pentacles can also be about health. Are you having any health issues? Is that what is keeping you stuck? Because I can tell you, when you don't feel good, the last thing you want to do is, or the last thing you have the energy for is raising your vibration so that you can bring in what you want in your life. When we're trying to manifest what we want, we're so often manifesting what we don't want because of where our focus is. So if you're focused on money worries, this could be a big issue if that's what you're trying to manifest is money. You're too worried. You have too many obstacles in your way, and you're too focused on the not having enough instead of looking at what you already have. But we got 2 good cards here. We got the 3 of Wands. So threes, the threes are really about creating and growth and it could be about collaboration, right? So you have an opportunity to, and wands are our energy, our spirit, our passion, our creativity. So I'm getting the impression, as you see her swimming through the sky, with the fish in the sky, that you are progressing forward, and this may just be a momentary stuckness, you know, as you're swimming through your life and you're figuring things out. Because if you can see, she's very directed. She knows where she wants to go. So you know where you want to go, right? You know where you want to go. And whether that's in, you know, your personal life or in your professional life, you have a direction, and you are channeling the energy, the wands, you know, it's our energy, our spirit, to move you in that direction. And you may just have to swim through some things until you get there. And getting unstuck, we have the Lovers here. This is about partnerships. This is about collaborations and, you know, choice, and so maybe there's some choices that you have to make. The Lovers can also represent duality, but I don't really look at the Lovers too much as duality. Of course, that could be an interpretation. I look at it as more of a, you're making a choice. So where these are two different forces are coming in to the relationship. So maybe there's some things that you need to make a choice about. Maybe you need to cut some things out, cut some relationships off, pick something that you can put your focus toward, and that's how you will become unstuck. Because right now, with all the choices that you have, all the obstacles in your way, all the issues and barriers that you have, you're trying to swim through that. And here you're at the Lovers, where we are at making a choice, you know? So you have to maybe let something go, or you have to choose what it is that you want. Now, if it's about a relationship, if we're talking about a romantic relationship, right? The stuckness could be, this is just a different interpretation since this is such a general reading. This could be about, you know, the series of dates that you've gone on, like one person after another, and you haven't met the person that you want to meet, and that's what you're trying to manifest. And so what this is telling me is you need to swim through that. You need to weed people out. You need to get rid of who's not interesting to you, and stop wasting your time talking to people where you know it's not going to go anywhere, because you really, really are looking for a relationship, because what's coming to you is a relationship. The relationship that you've been asking for, but you have to clear out all this stuff. So that's telling me stop talking to the people that you're just like, they're okay, I'm bored, maybe I'll go on a date with them because I'm bored. No, if you know they're not the right person for you and you're asking for a romantic relationship, it's here for you, but you need to weed through, you need to swim through that garbage, get rid of what isn't for you, and you'll know it. You know, I've heard many women, you know, talk about relationships, and they're like, well, I just don't want to be alone. Well, do you just not want to be alone, or do you want a real relationship? Because there's a lot of choices here for you to go out with many different kinds of people, not to be alone. But if what you want is a real romantic relationship, you need to swim through that. You need to cut a lot of that off. Tell these people, you know, thank you, but no thank you. It was nice meeting you, but I don't think you're right for me, because on the other side of this is the Lovers card. Okay? And that is how you get unstuck. The bottom, let me see something. My nails, so hard to get these cards off this table. Yeah, the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Wands. And that's the energy. And to me, she is the queen that creates the magic. She's the manifesting queen. She is, to me, the priestess, the high priestess, the witch. She's the one that makes it happen. So once you clear all these obstacles out of your way, you know, you swim through that, you build up your energy, and then you make some choices in your life. She's waiting here for you, for your magic to appear. It's right there. It's right on the other side, you know? But like I said, before I even pulled any cards. The problem is we get in our own way. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Let me know your thoughts. If you see anything I don't see, please share it. I would love to know. And whatever it is that you want to manifest, yeah, just clear out some stuff and it's coming your way. You know, that's how you get unstuck. Hope everybody's good. Do something that brings you lots of joy. Have fun. You can make life as fun as you want it to be. That is a choice. And we can make those choices every single day. If you like the readings, I would appreciate it if you would let me know. You would subscribe to the channel. You would make comments. You would share, and all the good stuff. I have tons of readings on different subjects, and you can go through the library of readings that I have if you're interested. I do these the animal spirit oracle readings. I love those, and I made my own oracle deck, and I read from that also. So, plus I have my show, Postcards to the Universe, Creating the Life You Crave. You can watch me having great conversations with some really interesting guests. Okay. Yeah, I'm taking in the messages here for me right now as I'm looking at them. There's some messages here for me too. All right, everybody, have a good one. See you next time. Bye.